So, how to be charismatic. And I mean this in caps. All right. I'm going to encapsulate the idea of charisma. So, the thing is, you got to keep this in mind. I haven't really done the quote unquote work to figure out what is, if it's a science. I'm not trying to make it into a science. I think the interesting thing with charisma is that, okay, let me tell you this. One of the things that I've learned how to do, and hopefully this makes sense to you, is that when I say something, I hear it for the first time like the other person is hearing it for the first time. Essentially, I don't have filters. Okay, so when I hear something, I'm like, whoa, like I'm just as taken aback as the other person. Okay, so that's one thing that I've been able to do. I've been able to bypass the filter. So essentially, when I hear something, I'm like, whoa, like I just heard that for the first time too. So I'm as surprised as the other person on the other side listening to what I'm saying. And so unfortunately, for better or worse, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, right? Because I don't know what's going to be said. Okay, so I'm in for a surprise as well. I think that's the fun part. The other thing is too, um, that's where some of the genius comes, right? Because I'm not able to take the time to think about, is this going to be taken a certain way? It just comes out, and oftentimes it does work in my favor because it's pretty audacious, and people kind of reward you for that. They appreciate it. They find it entertaining. So from that perspective, I think it's a good thing. Is and the reality is, this is another thing with charisma is that it is like this sort of interplay between being serious and playful, being sarcastic, but also being serious. I think that interplay, right, that delicate balance, that weaving through of being serious and playful is what I think is charisma is somewhere in between that. It can also kind of be sort of taken as like, oh, he's being flirty or he's being coquettish. um People will mistake charisma for that because you give them a certain feeling, and so people kind of mistake that as like, oh, he's into me, or he wants something out of me, or because I've been in many situations where I'm like, whoa, like this was not anything remotely to that end. It was never anything sexual. It was strictly platonic. But that was the feeling that I would give people, is that they thought I was being flirtatious when really it was just the way I was, behaving. But I do that with everyone. Uh, the other thing is, it's not always what you say, but how you say it, and then also it's what you don't say. So it's your mannerisms. It's how you're looking. It's how you're listening. Um, it's your what your face says. And like I said, it's also about how you say things, the manner in which you say them, that does determine sort of how people will perceive you. Because the thing is, I couldn't tell you that like I learned from anyone in particular, but I did sort of take sort of styles and delivery from various mentors. Most of them not real, like in the sense that I didn't know them in real life. They were people that I would just listen to and find entertaining, and I'm like, wow, I really like their energy. I like their aura, and so you kind of get it from that. But the other thing that's being overlooked when it comes to charisma is that it comes from your experiences as well. That's not something that you can just make up on the spot. I think it's important to be able to learn the lessons that life gives you by experiencing certain emotions. You'll get charisma out of that for sure. Absolutely. I think anybody that's gone through anything will be charismatic just by default. And it's not even something they're trying to do, right? It just becomes who they are naturally. So I think part of it is that too, is don't be scared of the world rearing its ugly head at you. Um, Oftentimes, those moments will be very uncomfortable, but they'll leave you with a lot of learning opportunities, right? If you're open to learning, all right? Don't make yourself a victim. Find the opportunities, take advantage of them, see them as ways to. It's one of those things where you kind of internalize them, right? You internalize those feelings, those emotions, those experiences, and you put that out into the world. And that ends up creating a pretty vast and varied canvas. And that's not something that other people can replicate, right? Because it's just your experience. I think you got to be able to wear your heart, as they say, on your sleeve. Do not be afraid to to be as vulnerable as possible. I think that's the beauty of charisma, is that there is something special about being vulnerable with people that sometimes you don't even know. Because I find myself being in conversations with people opening up and telling me everything. I'm like, whoa. And I think that's part of it, right? Is that people naturally let their guard down and feel comfortable around you, and that it allows you to let them express themselves as openly as possible. And you end up getting some of the most beautiful conversations from that. So that is, I think, for me, what charisma is. It's it's not like a thing where it's like if I just do these few things, this will make me charismatic. Although maybe there is, I don't know, but I can just tell you from my experience, the way that I've developed charisma, and I'm almost certain of it, is from the experiences, but then also is just like being able to present myself in a certain way that isn't like I'm trying to put on airs or I'm wearing a mask or things of that nature. I think just being wholly myself, and like I said, it doesn't always fare well for me, but I'm willing to sacrifice that part. I'm willing to forego the consequences of not being liked by everyone. I mean, that's just par for the course. So don't get bent out of shape over that part. But there's plenty of people that will dig it, that will like it, that will enjoy it, that will respect you for it, and will appreciate what you bring to the table. So that is, I think, what charisma brings you, right? Is that it offers you opportunities to embark and put yourself into stories, right? Immerse yourself in what's happening. So I think that's the beauty of it is that the action that it gives you, right? So, anyways, I hope this helps. I hope that you can find what it means for you to be charismatic, and I'll see you in the next one.